Today, I want to just like really quickly talk about a practice that I have found very, very helpful as a ongoing mantra that runs through the back of my brain. I interviewed one of our Magic Media partners last year, Chayla Davison from ChaylaDavison.com. She's a really awesome coach. And one of the things, I don't even remember where she got this from in it, but it started with for her how you come home or the kids come home and throw their jackets on a chair, put their shoes just in the middle of the floor, and she adopted this philosophy, which I have then taken on, and my family and I remind each other all the time around don't put it down, put it away. And how much time is saved long term when we just don't put our shit down. And I feel like um, it translates perfectly to entrepreneurship as well. This idea of like, don't put it down, put it away. So, how I translate that for my emails is don't just check an email and then move on. If I'm going to check the email, I might as well respond to the email in the moment rather than do it later. Or just don't check my emails at all because is there really a purpose to the checking of the emails in this moment? How is that checking of the emails hijacking my attention and taking up my time? Just like when we throw all our shit down in the house, whether it's instead of putting a dish in the sink rather than the dishwasher, instead of just washing the dish. If you don't have a dishwasher, when the dish is done, you get this big mountain of dishes that takes up all this time. Whereas if we would have spent the 20 seconds doing it in the moment, we would have gotten all that time back. We would have had all that extra energy and attention. And so the question I want to come to all of you with is where are you in your life or in your business hijacking your time by putting it down rather than putting it away, or in other words, by not following through or dropping the ball on certain pieces? Is there anywhere that you could refeng shui your life or your business and essentially finish the thing that you started, which will free up your time, probably help you to open up to new opportunities, new money. So, however, this has landed for you, take a couple minutes and just write about where is it that you could be cleaning things up so that it's less effort and work down the road and you have more time and attention for yourself or what you want to focus on. So, just take 2 minutes. Okay. So, hopefully everybody found at least one thing that you could focus on. And for me, just the idea of don't put it down, put it away has been ringing through the back of my head for the last 9 or 10 months since I had that interview, and it's become a part of my practice. And I find it definitely saves me time. Even just this morning. our compost bin was full. Instead of just putting the compost bin out on the front stoop and doing the compost later, I was like, what are you doing, man? Just put on your shoes and walk the damn extra 50 feet to the compost pile and pour it in. And then it's done. You don't have to do it later or save it for somebody else to do. Um, yeah, it's a great practice. Now, there's a second part to this conversation that I wanted to dig into. My wife was in a 3-day retreat over the weekend, and she had a couple ladies staying at the house with her. And Soren and I went away. We got home yesterday, and um, I was chatting with them in the kitchen because both of them are trying to transition into entrepreneurship. And so, as we were digging into reasons as to why not, it became very, very apparent that the thing that was holding them back the most wasn't clarity, it wasn't inspiration. It was this like deep-seated fear of rejection that if I create something, I have to put myself out there. If I put myself out there, I have to be seen. If I'm seen, then people could reject me. And the thing about entrepreneurship that I've come to learn and sort of bypass in my filters is that entrepreneurship is 98, 99% rejection. That is the bottom line. If you're going to send out 200 emails for people to host your signature workshops or bring you on their podcast, 98% will potentially reject you. If you're sending out newsletters to sell something to your audience, to your email list, to social media, 98, 99% of the people will probably reject you. That's just the name of the game. And so we need to be anchored in our belief in ourself, our belief in what we're here to do. And instead of paying attention to the 98%, to pay attention to the 2% who are receiving our gifts and to double down on those people, to double down on the gratitude that they have and the ways that we can show up and serve those people and not get so hung up on the fear of being rejected or the feelings that, oh man, the I don't want to do this 2 hours of outreach today because I know that 2 hours of outreach is going to come with majority rejection from me. And instead of focusing on the rejection, focus on the mission, focus on the purpose, focus on the outcome that you're trying to move yourself towards. What does the top of the mountain look like that you're climbing towards? And just remember how beautiful it's going to be as you continue to climb and you get to the top of that mountain. Yesterday, I was having one of those moments where I was tired because I'm still in January mode. I feel like the bear inside of me wants to be hibernating and not working on my computer most days. And I had one of those moments. I had a 10-minute nap, and during my nap, it was just like I knew there were certain things that I had to do that I just really didn't want to do. And so I pulled myself out of my nap and I was just like, just go do the damn things. One of them was making a cold call to this library association for Magic Kids, and it's just like, just pick up the damn phone and call her. She doesn't respond to your email, so just call her office. And so my new commitment is I'm going to call this woman's office every single day till she either says yes or no to me, because it would get us into probably 500 plus libraries for Magic Kids. So the thing is like she might reject, but I'm going to be assertive and consistent and resilient and move through it and move forward towards the goals that I have. And I'm going to bypass the fears of rejection because I've been rejected the majority of my career and I'm just going to keep going. And we all just have to remember that. Don't worry about the rejections. You're going to be rejected by most people you approach to work with you. And that's just a part of the game we're here. I didn't used to like when people told me that entrepreneurship or business is a game of numbers, but ultimately it is just a game of numbers. But more so than a game of numbers, it's a game of connections. And so what we're ultimately seeking is authentic, genuine connections where there's resonance with a partner, where there's resonance with somebody who could become a client or a student in your school. That's what we're looking for. It's a game of connections. And in order to find those connections, we probably have to sift through relationships that aren't necessarily a perfect fit for us. And the more of those we sift through, the more clear we get about where our perfect fit clients, students, partners, etc. are. Make sense, everybody? So, the second part to this exercise today is what is your relationship with the idea of being rejected? How do you feel about your relationship to rejection? So take a few minutes and see what thoughts, feelings surface for you when it comes to the idea of putting your work out and being rejected, doing outreach for your signature workshop and being rejected, pitching clients, pitching partners, having people not like what your point of view is in the world. All of those things that naturally are in our subconscious mind that are trying to protect us from being hurt, but ultimately do not serve the ultimate mission that we're here to serve. So take about 3 minutes. Let's see what comes up there. All right. There might be more to do there, but that at least brings it to the surface and gets it going. The thing with acceptance rejection, reaching out, building connections, creating relationships with others, whether it's clients, partners, etc., is if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So we have to ask. We have to ask for what we want. We have to be direct in our communications, because if we don't, it's a no, and we're not moving ourselves towards where we want to go. So hopefully, the two journaling exercises today brought some stuff to the surface. I know for myself, in my reflections before doing this, it was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. And it makes perfect sense. It's like if you know you need, in order to get 20 or 30 signature workshops under your belt this year, then you know you're gonna need to send out uh, probably 100 to 200 outreach emails, especially if you're going cold. If you're reaching out to networks you already have, those are a lot easier to book. If you're getting referrals, that's easier to book. But if you're reaching out cold to potential partners for your signature workshop, you're looking at 100 to 200. So that means every week you need to be sending out 5 to 10 partnership emails for your signature workshop in order to get those booked up. And that's probably, if we haven't dealt with this fear of being rejected, we're going to procrastinate, we're going to resist, we're going to try and not do the thing that we know we need to do. And so the sooner we can confront that fear of rejection and acknowledge it and be like, I get it. You're here to protect me. I don't need your protection from this. Trust me, I got this. I'm going to steer the ship. We're going to do this outreach email. I'm going to make these phone calls. We're going to see what we can do together. Let me know if there's something that I actually need to pay attention to that's gonna, save my life. Otherwise, get in the passenger seat. I'm steering the ship here. So, if anything came up there, you might want to do some form of burning ritual to help close this thread around fearing rejection and just be more aware as you set up, say, an hour to 2 hours a week where you're consistently doing all those outreach emails to try and find partnerships, clients, signature workshop hosts, etc. Just pay attention to the resistance that comes up. And the more you do that, the easier it's going to be to bypass those fears or whatever it is that's going on under the surface so that you can do the thing you know need to do to move the ball forward in the direction you're trying to go. But unless we're aware of it, we can't see the way that it might be sabotaging us from moving forward in the direction we want to go. So, does anybody have anything they want to share from either of those conversations before we get into some hot seats?